I'm sorry, Ken.
I wanted to ask a question about these bylaws. Are they going to be changed? Or is this what?
No, that's what we had, Mary. I don't know.
This is what we had?
Yes.
Well, they've been violated. Because the section 2, under section 2, it says, the association shall be non-political and therefore non-partisan. And at the 2013 election, members from the Goose Hill Neighborhood walked into our meeting carrying signs for my opponent. So this means nothing. Thank you.
But I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Sorry, I've been a little bit remiss in attending some of these meetings. I had a pretty good attendance record for a while. You know, just as you look around this building and this facility, Camille, you've got to give yourself a pat on the back. The people who have helped over the years, where this was really an embarrassment. You turned it around, so now that it is really a great community asset. You know, everybody's played a role in that. When Bill Aiken, his mother passed away recently, was not only the inspiration and great advocate within Schenectady, she was able to drive a national agenda that made a difference in so many people's lives. Bill, we're always going to miss your mother and the things that she did. You know, Pat, you have that same thing with a national organization that works to make our lives better. And again, we should all be proud of that. That the Community Service Award, Brenda, thank you for that. You know, I was fortunate to be the recipient of that one time. I was a nobody. Once I got that award, you know, my whole life changed. I owe everything to you, Brenda. It's all true, right, Brenda?
I asked about an association and the city hall, and you were our councilman at the time. He came to my house and gave me information on it, and I was really impressed.
Just want to acknowledge some of my colleagues from City Hall, Councilmember Porterfield, John Budavaran is in the back, John Palomini up front, and Karen Zalewski-Walzunas, commonly referred to as Karen ZW, who's joined us doing a great job bringing a strong background in finance and community involvement. It's going to go over some quick points if members of the police department joining us and thought maybe have just more of an informal discussion of question and answer period. Last year we shifted from our source separation of garbage, and that was where general garbage went in one can, paper went in one, and then tin, plastic, and glass went in a third container. Today we encourage people, and part of the message leaving here tonight, I'd ask you to go back, make sure you're doing it individually, and then encourage your neighbors and other friends within the neighborhood, within the community, to go to really the single stream system where there's 2 cans that we've put out. One is for garbage, and then all the recyclables can go in the separate container. Before we used to reject pizza cartons or other things, that has been modified. There's some stickers in the back of the room that go through some of the details that are available, so that would encourage people to do that. That has resulted, we've got some data from the first year going back from 16 to 17. We've seen roughly a 10% increase in the amount of material that we're recycling. So that material doesn't end up in a landfill. You know, it's environmentally sound, reduces the carbon footprint, and just helps encourage sustainability within the community. And there's also a cost savings in that, where we have to landfill material, we have to pay a higher rate for it. So that we've saved, the numbers we're running in about 23% up, and it's about $12,000. It's not a huge number, but it's these little things that we do across the city to try and improve the efficiency that has enabled us over the last few years to really change the finances of the city in a dramatic way, so that we're much more stable. We've had 2 years of tax cuts, and at the same time we've been able to maintain a high level in terms of delivery of service. Police, fire, paved more streets than have really done in the past. We've made investments in the park. Rich Paterni, who's a regular here, the county legislator from District 1, chairs the Recreation Advisory Committee, which has gone out and done a in-depth review of each of the parks. And working with the city council, we've put money in the budget for the last 3 years where we're not doing as much as we would like, but we're doing it so that everybody is sharing in it, so that we're seeing results in every park. And we've seen some of the investments here in Steinmetz, and hopefully we're going to be able to continue to do that as we go forward. Because we want parks to be viewed as a community resource, that they add value, so that people will be able to come here and enjoy it. And just like this meeting tonight, it's a group of good people coming out, enjoying a great facility on what's a perfect evening. And, some of the summer cookouts and the family fun day are things that are building a reputation here in a following that people look forward to. And would encourage people, again, to bring a friend, bring a neighbor when you come to these, and make sure they mark on their calendar the family fun day and the other events that are coming up. Again, everything that we do, we try to take the message that everything is interdependent in the community. And some of the results that we've seen in terms of the finances, we're seeing reductions in crime, we're seeing the ability to take a stabilized financial base and do investments in our parks and other public facilities, is a result of a coordinated approach where we're working together to improve the community. And we've had an aggressive campaign to deal with the worst of the worst property, where we knock down the blighted, dilapidated properties. We've been able to encourage home ownership with our homes program, where that is put together with a coalition of bankers and realtors, where people are investing here. There's options within the community. And those results have translated into the results where you're seeing crime go down. We've seen the transformation in downtown. We competed statewide, really in a national format, for the siting of the Rivers Casino. That was a competitive process the governor set up. There were some community debate over that. But we have brought a facility here that's created 1,000 new jobs and has generated a substantial revenue stream for not only the city and county, but neighboring communities. And it has taken a old, abandoned industrial brownfield that sat vacant and underutilized for 50 years and turned it into a regional destination spot where there's the casino's roughly a $300 million investment. Right immediately adjacent to it is the Mohawk Harbor, it's roughly $150 million, and I compliment Sharon for her work on the Planning Commission. Again, we think of ourselves as just kind of neighbors sitting here, but where you get to play a role in an outcome that is extremely significant. Talked about Doris's role in GRID, where she drove a national agenda. Sharon babysat that project. I'm not sure that's a technical planning, but got it to go. Got it through a process that was very complicated and challenging. to today where people look at that and say, oh, you know, it's easy, wow, it's fantastic. And today we're all happy that it's there and benefiting from it. But it was a tedious, complicated process that involved a lot of players, and just want to, and Sharon is retired since then, we just want to publicly thank you for the time and effort that you put into that, because generations going forward are going to appreciate in your effort.
Thank you.
And with that, if the officers come up here, Sergeant DiMartino, he's got an hour and a half speech, and I do oh, we'll bring him right up front here. The sergeant, I really don't know too much of these answers, so frontline patrol will answer all questions.
I'm Sergeant DiMartino, traveling with Rayball and Bobrovich. They're your CP officers. Rayball's on days and I'm third platoon. I also work third platoon, which is the shift. I've been on this shift for 10 years or so. We were asked to take a look at some crime stats for the neighborhood. We have a full-time crime analyst. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. So we asked him to do things to put them together for us so we can see where our hotspots are. He does these on a weekly basis for us. Something pops up, he'll fire out emails to us and we can look and see where we're having issues. Most recently, you guys had a shooting down there. It wasn't random. They knew each other. Not that that makes it better, but it makes it easier for us to solve. So in response to that, we sent guys out to patrol down there, do field interview cards, make arrests, deal with the bodegas. Can I say bodegas? The corner stores are hot spots down there in Van Branken, as well as Mount Pleasant and Kempton Hill. So we deployed a bunch of resources down there, made arrests, field interview cards, we did traffic, and they quieted down.
Was the shooting broken?
I don't know that. I know that there's traffic issues right now.
Can I just make a comment?
What's that?
No, you were answering, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Really kudos, in talking to several of the merchants on Van Branken, in addition to some of the residents. They're very, very thrilled with what's going on, and just your visibility walking in and out of the shops, becoming acquainted. It's something that was long overdue, and I thank you both for making such an effort. Thank you.
Back in January, we had a rash of commercial burglaries down here. Again, we sent out resources. We field interviewed a bunch of people. Those burglaries stopped, probably because they knew what we were on to them. We did get blood evidence from one of the burglaries, still at the crime lab. That takes a long time. So hopefully that'll lead us to who the perpetrator is. This is a report that we prepared for us. I'm just going to go through it real quick. This report is for the first quarter of the year. I don't want to get too specific. That's what I'm. One of our hotspots is down the north side, from Hattie to Seneca, Foster, and Hathaway, which I would kind of expect. We also have a secondary hotspot too that we're looking at. That's why we deployed our guys there. This is something that he sends out to us, and it shows us on a map where it is, and a synopsis of what's going on.
Hattie to Seneca, you said? What was the other one?
Hattie, Seneca, Foster to Abbey Way. The north side, fewer reported crimes in comparison to our other identified hotspot locations, including Harrington Hill, Upper Central State Street, and Mount Pleasant. The crime rates really aren't too bad over here, which is good. But like I said, when we identify one, we'll send guys out and address it. I know just something we get complaints for speeding. We send guys over to the Growing Street here and address that because nobody flies down Growing Street for some reason. So there was, I'm gonna go over just real quick some of the Part 1 crimes. We had the shots fired we talked about, an assault down at Van Branken, at 2450 Van Branken, the Yates. Wasn't an assault. I looked at it, comes up in here as an assault. I looked it up. It wasn't an assault. It was just a threat with a knife. And a domestic assault and a couple of robberies. 4. That's for the month. So really low numbers. As I said to the mayor earlier, when I came here, we were chasing shots fired and shooting all night long, from one to the other. Our crime rates have plummeted. Our Part 1 crimes. Our call line has completely changed. It's not violent the way it was. Because we work with the FBI, the marshals, we work with obviously the sheriff's department as well. In a big sting, we took down 46 gang members. That was 6 or 7 years ago. That dropped our numbers way down. These kids were out there shooting. Addressing the bodegas, working with the city, taking down blighted properties, and mobilizing our people to the right areas has reduced the crime in the city considerably.
Maybe we could just open up for questions. People have.
I have a question. I want to make a comment. I'm a member of the Civilian Police Review Board. I have to say, as a member, I'm very proud of our officers. I see the cases, I see the complaints, and I would say that our officers are professional. And I just encourage all of us here, but everyone in the city, that remember our officers are human beings, okay? They make mistakes too. But from the cases that I reviewed, our committee has reviewed, our officers are very professional. And my thing is that if you are stopped by an officer, just do what the officer, just do what he or she says. If you do have a complaint, you can go right down to the police office, I believe, right down Liberty Street. Yeah. You can get a police form, you can fill it all out. But I have to say that I think our police are very professional in doing their job. They're very courteous to the civilian population here in Schenectady.
And I want police officers, firefighters, other public employees to be looked up to as community leaders. I want them to be respected. I want them to do a good job. We want the support of the community. And want them out there every day earning your respect. And again, we are producing results where Sergeant talks about crime is going down. It's not perfect, but the trend is clearly in the right direction. We want to continue that. And we need your help in terms of information when you see something that's out of the ordinary, somebody who's doing something wrong. Don't hesitate to call my office or an appropriate bureau within the city, or again, if it's an emergency situation, dial 911. Yes, ma'am.
A couple of years ago, there were security cameras put in, I believe, on Van Branken at least. Do you have any sense of, are they helpful to you? Are they effective? Do we need more?
They're immensely helpful. The old dispatch center is now a command center of sorts. There's a wall of 6 or 8 huge TVs that we can zoom in on people, drug transactions. We've solved shootings from the cameras, they're recorded so we can go back and look at stuff. Break down a traffic accident, we don't know who's at fault, and go back and look at it. They're immensely helpful.
And we're looking to modify the camera deployment, expand it in some areas where the system that was initially deployed was really done for public safety. It's done for deterrence and the ability to document crime. Cameras that are looking to move to, some have been put up on Lower Union Street as a test deployment. We have some other ones that have been deployed on South Street. It's more expansive in terms of, yes, they will provide the security aspect. Security has also around City Hall, looking to light them up when the green market comes back this weekend or 2 weekends. So it'll be more of a webcam that people could see from their computer what's happening on the street. The cameras now have the ability to do traffic counts where they're keeping track of the number of cars and vehicles that are going by. Before we had to go out to put down mechanical counters on the street, they have the ability to help synchronize red lights where, again, today, our traffic control devices, you get 10 cars coming up to it. It really varies if you've got 10 big SUVs or you have 10 subcompact cars, how fast you rotate through the light. Today, we don't have the ability to do that. In the future, we will. So there's a lot of current information that can be gained from it. And on the other end, if you take one picture a month of the street surface over a 5-year period or longer, that becomes your pavement management plan so that we can look at the street surface and watch any changes that are occurring. Today we have to send out crews, they look at the street, they put a numeric value on the quality of the street surface, put it in a software system and run it. This could all be automated with, again, the continued deployment of some of the cameras and optical sensors that we're looking going forward.
Yeah, how many of those cameras are on them right now?
Don't comment on the numbers.
So,
We don't comment on the
I'm sorry.
Jess is recording all these things here. It's just,
I got a lot of things I can email
I just want to make sure the racing cars, you catch the racing cars.
I've caught the racing motorbikes, the kids on recreational motorcycles, no helmets.
So, you mentioned, well, scammers.
No,
You said they're messed up, the cameras?
What?
That the cameras are messed up?
No,
No.
mentally also.
Okay, now, okay, I was just wondering about that because of the bullet that went into your Venerini. And it was my understanding that nothing was caught on the cameras. It gives me pause about, because you read too frequently in the paper, and you hear too frequently that things weren't caught on the cameras, or, and I understand about the panning and everything else, but it seems too coincidental to me, you know?
Believe it or not, it happens a lot, but if you're putting so many cameras up now, plus you have everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people have cameras on their houses. The corner stores have cameras up, so we go to those places and try to access their cameras. They allow us. We download that stuff and we can use it later too. So there's cameras everywhere now.
And just a quick second question. I had an incident at my residence, I believe it was Sunday, and the house next door, they knocked out a couple of windows, and I gave complete descriptions to the dispatcher, and unfortunately, when the police arrived, they asked me the same questions about, you know, the dress, et cetera, and it made me wonder if the dispatch is giving all of the information to the officers, and if not, why? Mr. Mayor?
A lot of times we'll ask the questions again because it can be a disparity between what you're telling them and what they're getting to us. So we'll ask the questions again anyway, no matter what they're doing. Sometimes it's not perfect, it's fallible, and they don't get the communication across to us. But that's a question I'm going to ask you when I get there anyway, because it's amazing how a call can change from when dispatch gets it to when we get there. It's completely different. And you're like, how did this happen? And you can't really blame dispatch on it. It's just how, you know, how it gets changed.
I was just wondering about the line of communication. Hoping that it gets detailed.
Yeah, on the issue of cameras that catch people that run red lights, Albany tried that experiment, and committed to a long contract that's gonna cost them tens of thousands of dollars. Has what happened in Albany, can we learn from that and maybe be more prudent about how to push
I'm
it?
not looking to request the deployment of the red light cameras in Schenectady. Some of these cameras that we're looking may have, again, the ability to do traffic counts, do other monitoring, but the red light camera is not a option that we're actively looking at.
Oh, that's good news.
You want some lunch, Dave?
How, the uniform, the combined dispatch center, how's that working? Is it better, is it worse, is it about the same?
What was the question?
There's a whole facet to that.
There's been clearly been some improvements in it, machine information, centralizing it. There's been some bumps in the road. Some exchange of information, and it is a evolutionary process where we're looking to always try and improve it. So that, again, people have experience with it, like Camille, if that information is not being relayed, we want to know those things and how you improve that delivery of service so that people have confidence in the work that's being done, and again, the money that we're paying public employees to provide those services.
Well, I have to say that I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. In 14 years I have lived in Seneca Street. I have never come up against or heard of a problem at the police department. And lately, as of lately, I've seen more of a police presence, which thank you very much, gentlemen, and women that are on the department, because you guys really do go up and down a lot. Now, of course, the garage is Pleasant Street, but a lot less worry on older people that live on the street.
Not to those other people.
But we really do appreciate it. I know, speaking for myself, and I'm sure for Claudia, we both appreciate seeing you going up and down the street. And I'm the one that stands out on the porch and goes like this. I do.
Appreciate your kind words.
A couple things. I appreciate you guys, I really do. You got your hands full, that's for sure. As a community organization, we had a great meeting last month as far as the police chief and a couple others down here, getting an understanding of the philosophy of where the department's trying to get to. Under the aspect of policy, when it comes to crimes and accidents on members of the community, how is the follow-up process in getting information for closure to the victims of different types of crimes? Because it seems to be like a dead-end, dead-wall hush. And there seems to be no, whether there's a arrest made or not, whether it goes any further, other than unless it hits the news.
Well, I don't want that image to be out there. You're asking, over a fact pattern of a wide variance, so that there's some minor cases where people don't ask for any follow-up. There's more complicated cases where there's continual engagement, not only from the patrol division, but the investigative division to help people get through it. There's victims assistance that's provided through the district attorney's office. Again, it depends on what the crime is. And if you have a scenario where you think we ought to look at doing things different or should have considered doing something different, I'm open to that. You can, anytime, talk to the sergeant, some of the officers.
Probably what I'm asking is not more towards the class 1 or anything of that. It's more of a quality of life issue on things that follow up. Some of the things are obvious. Radio, you guys show up, you look at it, and deal with it. But things of that nature, from property theft, damage, things of that nature. Is there any more that we have to constantly look out for a window for the same guy that showed up?
What we could do is if when you call a complainant, ask to speak to the officer. Because if you don't, we're going to ask, did they ask to speak to us? We're going to address the problem. If you said no, go ahead, right away. So if you want to speak to us, by all means, ask.
That's a key point, because you think everybody wants to talk to the police officer. Some people don't. They're gonna give the information, they're going to bed, they're doing something else, and don't wanna be further engaged. And on the other hand, some people do want to, and want to try and provide whatever service people are asking for.
This is not for the police, but what are you anticipating in terms of reduced funds with the current administration in Washington? Is this going to have, what impact is this going to have on the finances of small cities like Schenectady? Do you know?
There's a lot of dynamics that's in play now. There are scenarios out there that have the potential to have very significant impact on Schenectady. We're going through the process for the community development block grant money that's about $2.7 million. The president has proposed total elimination of that. The dialogue that's occurring, talking about maybe that the funds would only be cut by 50%. Now, we use that money to staff city positions, support a number of community groups. The cut at 50% would be a number that would be significantly felt throughout this city. Not only this city, but other communities. I had the opportunity 2 months ago to down and represent the U.S. Conference of Mayors and testify before a congressional subcommittee talking about the infrastructure needs of municipalities. Some of the discussion is that they would cut the CDBG money, but would put infrastructure money in that might come into a community so that we would be able to pave roads, do water and sewer projects that would then free up other money to support some of the areas that are being cut. I, at this point, can't stand here and tell you that there's a clear scenario. Everybody watches the news, things change dramatically. The president's proposal to alter the tax code, again, it has the potential of eliminating the deductibility of local taxes. So in places like New York State, where the affordability in home ownership is a key component of being able to deduct those property taxes, that might be taken away. And people look, the Northeast is an area that's older, has greater needs, but New York State, Massachusetts, New Jersey have a very significant net contribution to the federal government. So we subsidize some of these other states who are sitting there saying, you know, they just want cuts across the board, but they wouldn't be impacted in the same way that New York would. And it's a complicated discussion that's happening. It's one that changes rapidly. I think we're fortunate where the New York delegation was fairly solidified in support of what I'll call a common sense approach to it, that you cannot believe that that necessarily is going to prevail. So that don't hesitate to call Paul Tonko, Schumer, Gillibrand, or other members of Congress to express your opinion on particular programs or ideas you may have in terms of maintaining the delivery of services. Yes?
This isn't, I don't know, it kind of fits because it would affect the police. I did sit in at the city council meeting last Monday night, and I understand this has come up before. I think it's very important that we not impose on our police force the necessity of investigating people's immigration status.
Well, we don't do that today.
No.
I just want to be clear, my position on the sanctuary city issue is that it's somewhat a misfocused effort where the debate at the national level is forced this down on the communities and divided communities. We could go around the room and ask everybody what a sanctuary city is, and everybody here would probably have a different definition. If I declared a sanctuary city today in Schenectady, you know what would change?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. If I rescinded this declaration the next day, you know what would change? Absolutely nothing. In the police, we have to have the respect of the community, which what I said earlier. And at the same time, they have to have the ability to analyze complex and different situations in a very short period of time. Rich talked about some of the follow-up. There's a wide variance there. You have individuals whose immigration status might be questionable. Those people are more subject to intimidation and exploitation from minimum wage violations, sexual predators, other things, where an officer not being able to make that inquiry might change the thought process in terms of evaluating the situation. I want the officers to be able to have that level of information. We want to support members of the community. We want them to feel comfortable here. And it's a community that council put forth in the past 7-0 comprehensive immigration reform. There's a national debate where the Congress and the President can't come together in terms of what the rules should be. So you get this engagement that is, I believe, it's wasted time and effort. I believe we all have a common goal in terms of improving the quality of life here, creating opportunities for people, and we end up debating each other over whether the police officer can ask your first name or last name or really do their job. We are not out enforcing federal law, and we're not going to change that. So it's, and I'm proud of the work that the men and women of the police department do. You should be equally proud and supportive of them. And don't let the national debate detract from the great work that the department is doing in policing, and then the activities and development that's happening within the city of Schenectady.
I've been on more cross about. I've been here 13 years. I've run through one illegal in 13 years. You didn't do it wrong. And
Yeah.
you don't run. Not here.
Here in I called Chief Valpo, maybe 4 days ago, because when I teach U.S. history, we talk about terrorism. I asked him about Homeland Security, how safe are religious sites? Because I have students who are Muslims. When President Trump, when it was candidate Trump, was talking about, unless they're all back on blah, blah, blah. Now, a lot of them were afraid that they might be targeted to have to turn back to Yemen or wherever they came from. And also they were concerned about the religious sites, okay? Not just the mosque here, but also whether you're Catholic or Jewish or Protestant. My questions for police are that the Chief Bell told that we didn't have any attacks, we didn't have no threats at all. So, as far as religious sites, we're pretty safe. I think you mentioned, I remember searching there's one threat in Albany, but there's nothing here in Schenectady. So are the police on a regular basis, are they checking out our religious sites? Even though there's no threat here. I mean, I told my students, I said, I'm sure that our city police, they recognize that we are multicultural.
The police department, on a daily basis, process a lot of information in terms of crime analysis. There's a regional center, and there's the Joint Terrorism Task Force that follows up on leads. And we're what we consider the secondary target. We're not a New York City, we're not a San Francisco. It doesn't mean that there couldn't be a lone wolf or people who are acting out of really an irrational mindset that they would do something. And so you're correct where there's not what I would call a high level of risk, but at the same time, if anybody sees things that are unusual, a little bit odd, people make a comment that is inflammatory, threatening in some manner, it's appropriate that you pass that on so that it can be evaluated and that we follow up in a timely manner so that we don't have an incident or an event that we all regret. Our last question.
All right, I see a lot of new development happening in Mount Pleasant, which is great, due to all your work, new businesses are opening up, and even over at Chubby's are opening up new development. I see, kids coming out for whatever their purpose is, and I just wanted to know and give, you guys, ask you a question, which is, what are you guys gonna do when the new pizzeria opens up, replacing Chubby's? I know people need to congregate. It's great when they're talking to each other instead of on their cell phones. But kids need to have memories. Kids need to do good things. So I was just hoping that you guys, I know that's not your focus because obviously there's lesser crime there.
The economic development deal that's happening there would have that property condemned and demolished with the current library and dollar store, and then have a new library put up and another dollar store. We're looking to, again, eliminate some of the problem businesses that have just been unable to focus some of their efforts in what I would consider a positive manner. It's not necessarily a smooth process that we're going through, but perseverance, working together with the city, county, metroplex, we're going to make sure that happens.
We put a lot of effort up there when Chubby's was open. We were up there daily, asking people for their if you can have a little bit of marijuana. They were dealing next to the library, which irks me a bit. So we were up there all the time to rescue. We can't hold them on the weekend. They have to go back out. We go back out and lock them up again. And we did details on days and afternoons, and we not only arrested the guy dealing, we were arresting the people that were driving away, buying stuff. We did this for weeks. We try to put our resources where we can. There's a lot of neighborhoods, so we're kind of spread thin sometimes. But when there's a problem and people are calling and telling us, hey, listen, this is an issue going on, we're going to address it.
It's a very popular area in a good way. People shop there, it's always crowded, but we keep people shopping and moving and having a good time. The Boys Club is for those activities down the road. It's not meant for deter customers. And I'm saying in a good way, because you see new business development opening there. And so I thought, what new ideas, I know you guys are mentioning cameras, but I don't see what I used to see many years ago when I go from there to work all the time. So give you props on that.
Did you get clarification on the stores operating hours restrictions, noise ordinance or anything like that?
Certain stores have different operating restrictions. At their problem location, the city limited their operating hours.
So there's no across the board?
Depends on zoning and some of these site approval for each individual store.
How does the general public figure that out? I mean, especially
Just,
right.
if you call, we'll track it down and make sure that we give you the appropriate information in the store. And again, we are doing an ongoing effort of interdiction on some of these businesses. It's not moving as fast as I would like, but it is a systematic, methodical process that's going to get us the results that we want. Second to last question. He was the last one.
Thank you. I was hoping you would address a little bit in the frame of code enforcement, property maintenance, sidewalks, litter, trash cans left out, this kind of thing, property maintenance, yeah, the one's not mowed, that kind of thing.
Again, all those things, we will do it. The sidewalk issue has been major topic of discussion within the community. For a long period of time, when we did the street surface, we replaced the curb and the sidewalk. Street looks great. It is an extremely expensive process, and we fell behind in doing the street surface. The sidewalks in the city are the responsibility of the homeowner, And the citation process, when you cite the homeowner, they have to then make, sometimes which is a major repair, which is difficult. We've looked at different options. Councilman Palomini has been working with some neighborhood groups in really different blocks through a petition process to address that in a somewhat different manner in terms of the assessment on the property and being able to.
Is that moving ahead at all, the final plan?
Yes, maybe next month Camille could invite John back and have a little presentation. I'm sure John can give you the update on those streets that we're looking at in what the actual. Raymond Street's going to be done. Well, I don't know if it's the whole street. It's.
Well, I'm saying that's what we're working for.
Oh, okay.
Is there some grant stuff that you're trying to get, are you trying to get funds for the homeowners?
It's a program where you'll be able to pay it off over a 10 or 15-year period. That way you're not having to put out $5-6 grand all at once. Kind of a layaway program.
Because my follow-up question, it has to do with the sidewalks, because we've had a small effort here in Goose Hill to do some tree replacements. And one of the streets that a bunch of the neighbors wanted trees was Oneida Street. And they said they came down, they replaced the sidewalks, replaced the curb, replaced the street, but in doing so took down all their trees. And they were supposed to be replaced and they never were. And so I was wondering if, and I understand the expense and everything, but the contractor said, oh yeah, we're going to replace your trees. And if there ever is a return.
Is that just in from that street?
Yeah, that first block by the school.
And I think actually those, when you do the trees, there's some seasonality to the planting.
Yeah, it's just 4 years ago.
Oh.
They never came back. But they trees next to me, trees next to me.
Usually generationally.
Yeah. But we didn't replace our trees. If we ever go back to after sidewalks replaced, I think a cool project that could be done cooperatively is that Retrees Schenectady, which gets the trees through grants, gets the trees, and the city says, oh cool, you got these trees for free, we'll get our guys to plant them. You know, so the whole street gets.
So the thing is, the trees have roots and then the sidewalks get broken.
Right. But they're planting different trees now.
Some of it is not the old maples and trees.
Yes.
But we do work with Retree neighborhoods where sometimes volunteers come out, dig the hole, sometimes we use some city equipment where there's bigger issues with rocks or other roots that are in place. But yes, and I'll look at that to see.
And that just would be a good way to do a lot of fun.
Two things. I'm very glad to see you're considering making fireworks illegal. So,
Oh, yeah.
The proposal is not to make them illegal. They're already illegal with a certain exemption for sparklers and other things, but it is the ability to sell them within the county that people have interpreted the limited exemption is a blanket exemption over anything that's explosive. And so
You guys kind of demonstrate we're sold the
just so if my neighbors are doing what they do with the fireworks, and I call, what do they get fined, or say the police come and they're shooting up all sorts of things?
Again, depending on what happens, the officers will issue an appearance ticket. They could arrest them. Depending on the severity of the violation and just what the fact pattern is. But when you have that, again, call the police, and it's a flaw in the human character around the 4th of July where common sense sometimes goes by the wayside. But thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. It's great to see everyone. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, gentlemen.